like a cool treat. But if you think you're eating right by choosing fat-free or sorbet, you'll want to read the labels carefully. Nutritionist Joy Bauer is a contributor for Today and Women's Day magazine. Joy, good morning to you.
Good morning.
This is great. We actually have real ice cream here. We're going to try to eat it all before it melts, okay?
And by the way, this was my most favorite segment of all times to research.
I'm sure. Let's start with ice cream because the FDA, I guess, is pretty specific about what can be called ice cream, right?
So regular ice cream is defined as a mix of dairy products, and it must have at least 10% milk fat. And of course, some brands like Haagen-Dazs and Ben & Jerry's have way more than 10%, so you just got to be careful.
Right. You say, one scoop here and there is okay.
Perfectly fine and almost like mandated.
Right, but if you're trying to lose weight, do you have to cut it out completely from your diet?
Not at all. And if you want to regularly indulge in ice cream and you're trying to lose weight, there are terrific brands out there that people should know about. And the idea is to keep these brands in check in terms of portions. You want it to be a half a cup portion, no more than 130 calories, no more than 3 grams of saturated artery clogging fat, and no more than 16 grams of sugar. And the good news is there are a ton of brands that fit the bill, and they're readily available.
What if, ice cream is one of those foods where you may think you're going to have half a cup, but you can't stop, right? Once you get going, it's hard to put it down.
Well, that's right. This is what a half a cup looks like. I have samples for you.
These
are all great brands. So the Breyers Smooth and Dreamy, half the fat. We have Blue Bunny Light Recipe, Edie's Slow Churned Light Recipe, and we have the Turkey Hill Light Recipe as well. And again, they all fit the bill.
Right.
So people have to read labels.
Here, they're trusting you to serve yourself the right amount.
Right. So what I did was I used a small little bowl because you want to sort of trick yourself into thinking that it's more plentiful than it is. And if you can't trust yourself with the big half gallons, that's where these single serving sizes come in very handy. And this is Fudgicle. You could get 2 pops for 80 calories. We have a Skinny Cow Truffle Pop. It looks delicious for 100 calories. And this is a Weight Watchers Giant Latte Pop for 90 calories.
Is gelato the same thing as ice cream? Not exactly, right?
It's not. Gelato is a little bit lower with milk fat, but they don't whip in as much air. So you really have to just check brands to see which one has more calories than the other. It's just sort of a different taste, a different texture.
Is it better to go with sorbets or sherbets?
Well, first, in terms of frozen yogurt, because this is something that people get stuck on sometimes, frozen yogurt, whether it's fat-free or light, is almost identical to light or low-fat ice cream.
Really?
People don't realize that. The difference is they add in these active cultures, but ironically, the cultures don't always survive the freezing process. So the dead ones don't really do you any good. And I would say when it comes to frozen yogurt, eat it because you love it, but not because you think it's like so much better than light or low-fat ice cream. And if you're looking for those active cultures, it's the non-fat or low-fat regular yogurt that definitely has them.
The sorbets now, they're more fruit-based, right?
Right. Well, you hope. If you're going for the right variety. So we have Julie's Sorbet, Sharon's Sorbet, and Ciao Bella. These are all terrific. And what I like about them is one of the first 3 or 4 ingredients is real fruit. But you have to be more allowing for sugar. So this I do the cap of 24 grams of sugar because we're missing the milk, and therefore the sugar from the fruit and sometimes fruit juice and added sugar is going to jack it up a little bit. But again, less than 130 calories per serving, and you're fine, and they're delicious. And I like these bars as well.
Sometimes there are single serving of these too, right?
Yes, so the Edie's are a good brand to buy for the single servings, and also whole fruit brands if you can find them.
What if you decide to go completely non-dairy and some of these non-dairy dessert items?
Well, I'm going to tell you, when I did some of the research for this, I was blown away by how many calories some of the non-dairy alternatives have. Yes, but these are 2 good ones. The Soy Dream Vanilla out of the container and the Soy Delicious. And again, you want to stick with half-cup servings. And this is great for vegans or for people that are just looking to completely lay off of dairy products. And here are some, single portions that people can enjoy and feel really good about, again, if you're not into dairy. Natalie, what are you going to try?
I'm starting down here working my way down.
Who made their way onto the side?
I like every single one of them. And,
I'm trying the mango
segment, I
passion
had to
fruit sorbet.
test.
Sounds great.
Isn't that delicious?
Good. Awesome.
The non-dairy, how do they stack up in terms of fat and calories? Is it much of a difference?
No, well, again, the ones that I picked were under 140 calories per serving, and they were lower in sugar. You know, sort of the same criteria,
Right.
and they really are just as delicious.
We're going to eat all of this right now.
Yeah, Joy Bauer, thanks so
Before
much.
Marty.
It's a treat. Still to come, America's Got Talent host Piers Morgan.
And local news and weather.